Have you ever met someone who seemed impossibly kind? The kind of person who called you boo and babe, sis, queen. The kind of person who said, I'm so glad I found you. Where have you been all this time? The kind of person who looked like warmth when you met them. You just hit it off with them from the start, right? Until one day, the mask started slipping. The mask started slipping. And you realized the kindness, it wasn't kindness at all. It was strategy. Because some people, they don't come into your life with obvious cruelty. They don't do that. But they come wrapped in charm. Wrapped in charm. You know, like the wolf in sheep's clothing. And that is what I call Xenial masking. So for all of you who don't know what that means, stick around, because in this video, we're going to talk about it. So grab a snack, come on back, and let's get into the letter X and the ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships. Hey, my beautiful souls, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Lexi, and in our alphabet series, exposing toxic relationship patterns, today we have reached one of the sneakiest letters of them all. I say that about all of them now. The letter X. And X is for Xenial masking. And if you don't know how to spell that, it's Xenial. Xenial. And maybe you've never heard that term before. And good if you haven't, because I'm here to tell you all about it. I'm using it to describe something many of us have experienced but didn't have the language for, right? I'm sure you didn't have the language for this. The people who present as kind, sweet, nurturing, affectionate, even admiring. But underneath it all lies competition, manipulation, resentment, and control. And if you've ever been blindsided by someone who played nice while secretly rooting against you, then this conversation is definitely for you. This is definitely for you. And if you've noticed the pattern here, we're already at the letter X. We only have 2 left. If you notice the pattern, every one of the alphabets from A, every one of the letters rather, from A all the way through X, and then we will continue with our next 2, Y and Z. A was animosity. Fits right in with this. Every letter that we've talked about connects. All of these things connect. So if you haven't seen the series, go back to the playlist and start with the letter A. You won't regret it. You won't. And you may learn something new. Lots of new words in here for you. Lots of new things that you probably experienced and didn't even know what they were called. So go back and check, especially gaslighting. That was a good one. Xenial means warm hospitality, right? Friendly, welcoming, pleasant. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Until it becomes a disguise. Until it becomes a disguise. Xenial masking is when someone performs friendliness to gain trust, access, emotional closeness to you, information about you, or influence over you, while hiding darker intentions. For example, fake compliments, fast intimacy, because they want to get to know you fast and quick with the hey boo and hey bae, hey queen, hey sis. Love bombing friendship, all of that, all of that. Oh, I love you so much. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we just met. Where have you been all my life? What have I done without you? Overfamiliar nicknames, like I said, boo and bae and sis and queen and lovey and all those things. Emotional dependency creation. Because they're like, well, we're going to get in there, so he calls me every day or she calls me every day, and you know, we got to talk several times a day and all of that. We can't have a day with missing each other. And strategic helplessness and helpfulness. It goes both ways, right? But strategic helpfulness, meaning they're always there to help you no matter what is going on. They're always there to help you with everything, right? Everything. And why that all works? It works because decent people assume warmth is genuine. We assume when somebody loves us that way and calls us nicknames and they're so nice and they're always there to help us and they're kind, they're sweet, they're everything. We assume that, that's genuine. But healthy people don't naturally expect manipulation. You don't. You don't expect it unless you're somebody who's really guarded and doesn't trust and has had such a bad time with someone. You don't even see it coming. It's hidden inside the kindness. It's hidden. And that's why it catches us. That's why. Cruel people are easier to spot. Calculated nice people, much harder. Not so much easy to spot, right? And let's make this a little personal for me, right? Because I have lived this, right? Almost just recently, right? I experienced someone who came into my life wrapped in warmth, constant affection, sweetness, sweet names, gratitude for me coming into their life and being their friend, dependency language always. That dependency. I'm so glad I found you. I don't know what I'd do without you. And because I'm a genuine person, I believe that. I believe the warmth in that. The warmth. I believe that. I'm a mom. So I believe that. Yeah, it happens. Until eventually, the inconsistencies, they start showing up, right? The entitlement, the resentment, the manipulation. And then I realized the friendliness, that was just a costume. And that realization, my beloved, that's very chilling. It's very chilling. I hope that nobody here ever has to go through any of that. But if you have, now you know what it's called. Xenial masking. And the red flags, you ask? Signs you're dealing with the xenial masking? The intimacy moves too fast. The boo, the bae, the sis, the queen, the cuz, the auntie, the mom, the whatever they want to call you. It moves way too fast. Way too fast. Excessive praise earlier. It's early on, the excessive praise. Oh my God, you're so this and you're so that, and what would I have done without you? And what have I done? You came into my life and you just did this, that, and the other. It's excessive praise way too early in a relationship. And this is with any relationship. Friendship, right? Our new relationship, maybe, with a partner, a loving partner, whether it be male, female relationship, right? Somebody that you're dating, that you just met, all these relationships. And it could also be with family members who you don't know and you just met, you know, a long lost relative or cousin. That too, these are red flags. These are red flags. Oversharing to create forced closeness. So they're going to call you crying about what happened to them and everything, oversharing something that they just met you and they're telling me all of this already, right? They must really trust me. They, you know, that kind of thing. Calling you pet names quickly, like we said earlier. Hey, my boo. Hey, my bae. Oh, my queen. Oh, my sis. You my girl. You my girl. You my guy. You know, that kind of thing. Hey, my man. Hey, my king. All those things really, really fast. Not just, you know, we do that a lot of times, right? I have people here that I call, you know, sis and everything, but those people and I, it's an established relationship, right, that we have. There's no bullshit. There's no fake or phoniness with that. But then you have those like this. So you kind of gotta watch it. You know, you gotta say, well, I do, this is with this person, but this with this person is something totally different. Totally different. Needing emotional access to you immediately. They call you every day and want to talk for 4 hours. They need emotional access to you immediately. They call you crying about inconsequential bullshit that is like, this is what you call me for? And I mean crying, okay, bawling. They're obsessed. They have to call you, and if you don't respond or you don't answer, oh, then they get an attitude. Well, I just called you because I was checking on you, or I just want to know, well, where have you been, and blah, blah, blah. Obsessive. Subtle guilt. If you pull back, there's that subtle guilt, right? The friendliness feels performative. It's very performative. You know, it's like that Oscar-winning performance, honey, and you know it. It takes time, though, because when you are blindsided and all that love bombing and all that, sometimes we're like, it makes you feel good sometimes. It really does. But then you have to realize that that's all an act. It's all an act. Their energy shifts when others are around you, right? Or when others are around them. The energy shifts. And especially if you are attached to someone else and you have another relationship with someone else, another friend, another family member, whatever it is, right? They don't like it. So that's where that little jealousy may come in. Compliments are mixed with strange digs to you, like the backhanded compliments, right? And they give that strange little dig, and then they kind of laugh it off, like, you know, it's just playing with you. You know, it's just joking with you. And the resentment, that leaks through eventually. You know, it leaks through eventually. Because for some reason, they have this built-up animosity towards you. They have this resentment towards you. Why, I don't know. I've never felt that way with anyone. I have never liked somebody so much, but hated them on the inside. That's a sick and twisted relationship right there. That's sick and twisted. Very sick and twisted. And people who do this, they're very calculating, right? And when the mask slips, you know, let me tell you something about these masks, because they always slip. They always slip, right? Because performance is exhausting. It's exhausting. How can they keep this performance up day in and day out, minute after minute, hour after hour? Because you know they got to call you every 5 minutes, right? Or they got to message you, they got to text you, they got to know what you're doing. It's a constant. It's a constant. And eventually, the passive aggression, that appears. The coldness, that appears. I've experienced that here too. Where somebody was calling every day 4 hours and this and that and this and that. And then all of a sudden, the coldness came in. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from that person in a minute. Let me check and see how they doing. What's going on with them? And it's a cold 20-minute conversation. You're like, that's not like this person. They always want to talk for hours, and I have to get rid of them. Right? The entitlement appears because, oh, you're talking to that one. Why are you talking to them? I mean, I needed you to do this for me, and I needed you to do that for me, and I needed to talk to you about this, and I needed to talk to you about that. And then the cruelty appears, right? Where they're just nasty for no reason. Talking about you behind your back, saying nasty things, and then playing it off like they were just joking. I just had a bad day. You know, things like that. The lesson in all of this, and not everyone who feels warm is safe, that's one of the lessons. Not everyone who feels warm is safe. That's one of the biggest lessons of this whole thing. And that doesn't mean that you have to become cynical. You don't have to become cynical. You don't. It means become discerning. Become discerning. Discernment is not bitterness, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. I'm going to leave you with that again. Discernment is not bitterness, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. Use your judgment, honey. It's wisdom. It's wisdom. Follow your gut. It's wisdom. And a lot of times we don't. And what's the thing that I've said through this whole series? What my mother always said to me from the time I was a little girl. Follow your first mind. It never leads you wrong. It never does. And we always have those God whispers, right? I call them God whispers. When little things happen and you get this intuition, right? And it's like, and you know something is off, but you don't know what it is. You don't want to do something, you know, like jump to conclusions, but sometimes you have to. Those God whispers are there for a reason. Sometimes you have to. So, if someone needed a performance to gain access to you, they were never truly for you in the first place. They never were, which most of these people in this series never were. And thank God that some people no longer are in our lives. I thank God for that every day. I wish I never met them in the first place. But there's always a lesson in everything, and we learn. We live and we learn. We learn. Because absence can be protection. Absence can be protection. Remember that. Remember that. So, I hope that you learned something new today about Xenial masking. You know, I had to put that master's degree to good use for this one. I'm like, I got to come up with something that's fabulous for the letter X. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. So, yeah, that psychology class came in handy, honey. So, remember, as always, you know that I love you plenty. I see you, and I know that you see this series. I know you're watching. I know you're watching it. All in the bushes and shit. I know you're watching. I know it. And I'm so proud of my supporters here. Because you're the real ones. You're the real ones, for real. So, on this note, we only have 2 letters left. 2 letters left of this series. And then we're done, and we'll be on to the next. And I can't wait to announce what the next series is going to be. But until we get to the letter Y, I'll see you. I'll see you then. Deuces.